From working with Kraven the Hunter, to the famous time Dr. Octopus took over his body.
Hello, Peter.
You won't believe what villains Spider-Man was forced to work with. Kraven the Hunter starts our list. In Kraven's last hunt, a pretty dark story within the Spider-Man mythos, he ends up severely harming Spider-Man and burying him alive. It takes Peter about 2 entire weeks to dig himself out, while Kraven has been masquerading as Spider-Man to try and prove he is superior, beating up criminals and taking down vermin. It's a truly iconic story that highlights the psychological depth of both characters and the lengths Kraven would go to prove his superiority as a hunter. The dark tone and the brutal nature of Kraven's actions make it a memorable and impactful storyline in Spider-Man's history. Now we have Sandman.
What do you want from me?
Remember Ben Parker?
Sandman has been a recurring ally and enemy of Spider-Man, often forced into crime due to his uncontrollable powers. Sandman, a tragic figure with uncontrollable powers, has been a complex character in the Spider-Man universe. Originally a villain, his ability to transform into sand has often led him down a path of crime, driven by desperation and a desire to provide for his family. However, over time, Spider-Man has seen glimpses of humanity within the villain, recognizing the struggle he faces against his own nature. In some instances, their paths have crossed under dire circumstances, forcing them to work together, whether it's to combat a greater threat or to help Sandman escape a dangerous situation. These moments have showcased a unique dynamic between the two. Spider-Man's compassion and understanding have sometimes allowed him to see beyond the villain's facade, recognizing the potential for redemption within Sandman. While their relationship remains fraught with tension, there's an undeniable undercurrent of empathy that binds them. This complex interplay between hero and villain has made Sandman one of the most enduring and intriguing characters in the Spider-Man mythos. The famous Dr. Octopus is another villain who was forced to work with Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus. In a shocking twist, Spider-Man's mind was swapped with Otto Octavius's, forcing him to work with his own body while the villain controlled his. With Octavius's mind in control of Spider-Man's body, the villain was able to utilize the hero's powers and knowledge to further his own twisted plans. This superior Spider-Man was a darker, more ruthless version of the web slinger, pushing the boundaries of heroism and villainy. Despite his villainous intentions, Octavius was forced to confront the complexities of being Spider-Man. He experienced the hero's burdens, responsibilities, and the weight of protecting innocent lives. This unlikely transformation challenged the very nature of good and evil, blurring the lines between hero and villain. This mind-bending arc explored themes of identity, morality, and the consequences of unchecked power. It showcased the potential for redemption, even within the darkest of hearts, and left a lasting impact on the Spider-Man mythos. Moving on, Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin has been a complex character, sometimes working with Spider-Man against a greater threat. The Hobgoblin has been a recurring antagonist in Spider-Man's life. While often portrayed as a villainous mastermind, there have been instances where their interests have aligned with Spider-Man's, leading to uneasy alliances. One of the most notable examples of this is when the Hobgoblin, under the guise of Roderick Kingsley, joined forces with Spider-Man to combat a greater threat. The shared objective of stopping a powerful enemy forced them to work together, albeit reluctantly. This unexpected partnership highlighted the complex nature of their relationship and the shifting alliances within the Marvel Universe. However, it's important to note that these alliances are often short-lived and driven by mutual self-interest. The Hobgoblin's ultimate goal remains to establish their dominance and power, and they will not hesitate to betray their allies if it serves their purpose. Kingpin. We can't forget about him. Spider-Man has reluctantly teamed up with Kingpin on occasion, recognizing that their goals sometimes align in the fight against larger threats. Despite being one of Spider-Man's most formidable foes, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, has occasionally found himself on the same side as the web slinger. This unlikely alliance is born out of necessity, where the common enemy poses a threat to both their interests. Kingpin, with his vast criminal empire and ruthless tactics, often clashes with Spider-Man's heroic endeavors. However, when a threat arises that could destabilize the city's criminal underworld or endanger his own operations, Kingpin may reluctantly agree to a temporary truce with Spider-Man. These alliances are often characterized by mutual distrust and unspoken agreements. Spider-Man, while recognizing the potential benefits of working with Kingpin, remains wary of the crime lord's true intentions. Kingpin, on the other hand, views Spider-Man as a nuisance, but acknowledges his strength and potential as an ally. These uneasy partnerships highlight the complex dynamics of the Marvel Universe, where heroes and villains can sometimes find common ground in the face of a greater evil. Venom, Spider-Man's least favorite villain, I am sure. Do you guys remember the original confrontation? In their initial encounter, Venom's sheer strength and brutal tactics overwhelmed Spider-Man. The symbiote's enhanced abilities and its ability to mimic Spider-Man's moves gave it a significant advantage, leading to a decisive victory. Though often a villain, Venom has worked alongside Spider-Man, particularly when a greater threat endangers both of them. The relationship between Spider-Man and Venom is a complex one, marked by both intense rivalry and reluctant cooperation. While Venom is often portrayed as a villain, there have been instances where they found themselves on the same side, united against a common enemy. When a threat so significant arises that it overshadows their personal animosity, Spider-Man and Venom can put aside their differences and work together. Their combined powers and abilities make them a formidable force, capable of taking on even the most powerful adversaries. These temporary alliances often highlight the shared humanity between the two characters, as they both strive to protect the innocent and maintain a sense of justice. However, these alliances are often fragile and short-lived. The underlying tension and mutual distrust between them can quickly escalate, leading to renewed conflict. Despite their occasional cooperation, Spider-Man and Venom remain bitter enemies, each vying for dominance and supremacy. From Venom to Green Goblin, we have a very complex relationship. Spider-Man has been forced to work with Norman Osborn, usually when the Green Goblin persona is dormant or under control. The relationship between Spider-Man and Norman Osborn is one of the most complex and tragic in the Marvel Universe. While Osborn is primarily known as the maniacal Green Goblin, there have been instances where the two have been forced to work together, albeit reluctantly. When Norman Osborn is not consumed by the Green Goblin persona, he can be a cunning businessman and a somewhat rational individual. In these moments of clarity, Spider-Man has occasionally found himself working alongside Osborn, often to combat a greater threat that endangers both of them. These alliances are always fraught with tension, as Spider-Man is constantly wary of Osborn's true intentions and the potential for the Green Goblin to re-emerge. However, these unlikely partnerships have also revealed a more human side to Norman Osborn, a man capable of both great evil and surprising acts of heroism. These moments of cooperation, while rare, highlight the complex nature of good and evil and the potential for redemption, even within the darkest of hearts. Let's talk about Black Cat next. Black Cat's agility, luck-manipulating powers, and cunning make her a formidable ally in combat. She's often aided Spider-Man in horrible, dangerous villains and protecting the city. Their shared passion for adventure and justice has led to numerous team-ups where they complement each other's skills and strategies. Beyond their heroic endeavors, Black Cat and Spider-Man share a deep romantic connection. Their on-again, off-again relationship has been a major plot point in many Spider-Man stories. Their chemistry, mutual respect, and understanding of each other's dual lives have made their bond one of the most enduring in the Marvel Universe.